I'm not threatening you. Say one more word, and that's 30 days. 30 days.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Sovereign Citizens Hall of Fame with your boy TP. Today, we're going to be sharing our 33rd compilation with you guys. About a week ago, we did a compilation video where we shared female sovereign citizens, and I was telling you guys that we don't have many female sovereign citizens here on the channel because all of these are cases that we already shared on the channel, just throwbacks that we're sharing. Some of you have seen it, for some of you it's new. So I was telling you guys we don't have a whole lot of female sovereign citizens, but we did have enough to where we couldn't add them to that last compilation. So guess what? Here we are again with another female sovereign citizen compilation, and we're going to be in 3 different judges' courtrooms. But before I give you that rundown, just know there will be chapters added to the videos. There will be no commentary at the end, and I appreciate you guys for watching. But before we jump in, let me give you the rundown on the judges. The first judges' courtroom we're going to be in is Judge Tammi Hayward out of the state of Georgia. Second, we will be in the courtroom of Judge Mark Slavens out of the state of Michigan. And last but not least, we will be in the courtroom of Judge Marlena Taylor, also out of the state of Michigan. So with that being said, guys, thank you as always for joining me here at Sovereign Citizens Hall of Fame. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this compilation.
All right. So Miss Ebony Milner is present. Also the Mr. Brown, who's on here on behalf of Federal National Mortgage Association. Mr. Brown, Miss Milner, is my understanding that this was heard in magistrate court, and this is a request for appeal. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. This is a petition for review from a dispossessory judgment. She was a tenant at sufferance post foreclosure.
Okay. All right. So Miss Milner, tell me what's going on.
Judge, well, this is a case of land rights, tribal law, and treaties.
No, ma'am. No.
And I would just like to say that I'm a tribal member, part of the Cash Box Trust Tribe.
No, ma'am.
Governments.
No, ma'am. We're not doing that.
And American Indian landowner.
No, ma'am. So we're not doing all that. So this is a simple eviction. So you can tell me how much was owed, how much you paid, whether there's anything to that allowed you to stay in the property, or whether there's money owed to you. I don't do the whole trust, tribe, all of that, because that's not what we do.
Well, that's what this is in regards to.
Well, then, ma'am, that's not what we're doing here. I would either have to transfer you to a tribal court, which I don't know of one exists for you, or for superior court, because this involves a foreclosure. Essentially, he bought the house through a foreclosure. You were a tenant in the house at the time, or you owned the house and he bought it under the foreclosure. And then it was whether you get to stay in the house and pay rent, or whether you're going to be evicted. Am I clear, Mr. Brown?
Yes, Your Honor. And
right. Because I don't deal with I went to law school for 3 years, have practiced law for over 30 years, have been a judge for over 12 years. I don't do the trust stuff because that's some arcane, esoteric stuff that you all believe that we don't follow here in the judicial system.
I understand. Well, I would also like to say that I'm not here to handle any of my private affairs in the public.
Okay, so I'm not sure what that means. You asked for the appeal.
Yes, and as I was stating, I'm a tribal member, part of the Cash Box Trust Tribe, and also an Indian American landowner. So this case is in regards to trust and tribal land.
So the property, the foreclosure is on a house on tribal land?
Correct.
Which tribe?
I'm sorry?
Which tribe?
Just the Ebony Milner tribe.
No, sir. I don't know of that tribe, ma'am. So
yes, and all the documentation had been put on file as well.
Okay.
Post foreclosure.
So here's the thing. Like I said, I've explained to you that if somebody purchases a home through foreclosure, then the people who are who were owners of the home or buying the home have two options. They can leave or they can be treated as tenants in the home. And in this case, it appears that Mr. Brown's client sought to evict you, and now you are asking for a review of that. So in my role in this court, I can go through the case as if it was never heard in magistrate court. But what I will tell you is I'm going to ask very specific questions. I'm going to follow the law under the state of Georgia with respect to landlord tenant. And if you're not able to provide me that information, then I'm going to determine that you're not able to prosecute the case in the way that it needs to be, and I'll dismiss it for want of prosecution.
Well, again, American tribal landowner, so
Okay.
those laws
No,
that you
ma'am.
may speak of don't
No.
apply to me.
No. Well, then, okay, I'm going to dismiss your appeal for want of prosecution. The court does not have jurisdiction over American tribal land, nor is there a designation of this property being a tribal land. So at this point, the court is going to dismiss this for want of prosecution. Thank you. All right, next.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elena Rozak on behalf of the people, P78815.
Good morning, Judge Deanne Patillo, P82378 on behalf of Ms. Tanaya Tubbs.
Ms. Tubbs, can you unmute and state your name for the record, please? And is Ms. Patillo standby counsel? Is that what this is?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Tubbs, if you can state your name for the record, please.
Grand Rising. I asked the Holy Spirit to come in here and touch this courtroom today, and I welcome the Holy Spirit. I am Tanaya Nicole Tubbs, the beneficiary.
Okay. And Ms. Patillo is being appointed as your standby counsel, Ms. Tubbs, all right?
No, sir, I did not ask for that. But if I'm being forced, then I'm being forced in direct coercion.
All right. Well, I'm not forcing you, but she's going to help in case you need anything. You don't ever have to use her, but if you want any questions on anything, she's there to help you, okay? You're gonna represent yourself, but if you have any questions, you can ask her, all right?
I hear you, sir.
All right. Do we have a jury trial date on this?
March 17th.
All right. We'll set this is set for jury trial on March 17th at 9 a.m. Ms. Tubbs, did you want to discuss settlement with the prosecutor, or do you just want to go ahead to jury trial?
I wanted to ask the prosecutor a few things, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would, one of the things I think that we put on the record last week when we were trying to establish whether Ms. Tubbs was going to represent herself, if we were going to relieve the prior defense counsel of his obligations and then also get standby counsel. And I think that today was more of an update just to make sure everything was in order, but knowing that the trial is
And I have ruled that she can represent herself, haven't I?
yes.
Okay, all right.
And that's why the other counsel was relieved and
Right, okay.
Ms. Patillo was put on as standby.
All right.
With that, I think that we had mentioned the possibility of having Ms. Tubbs be brought over here so that we can have discussions. Ms. Patillo is standby. I feel comfortable speaking to Ms. Tubbs as long as there's somebody else there. Even if they're not fully representing her, at least there's a third person. And I wouldn't mind speaking to her in person, but I think it's going to be easier if she's here, and I don't necessarily want her to say something on Zoom in open court that might affect her case when she's representing herself.
All right. We can do this one of two ways. I either can put all of you in a breakout room and let the three of you discuss things, or we can bring her here.
I would ask Ms. Tubbs what she would like to do.
Ms. Tubbs, what do you want to do? Do you want to go into a breakout room with the standby counsel and your and the prosecutor, or would you like to come here physically? to talk with them?
I can do standby counsel. I mean, I can do not standby counsel, but I can talk to them in the break room since she's afraid of what I have to say, so the public would not hear.
So if I could interject, I apologize, Your Honor. Would I be able to, well, if Ms. Tubbs allows, would I be able to speak to her before she speaks to the
I
press?
don't allow.
That's an excellent idea. Ms. Tubbs, would you be willing to speak privately with Ms. Patella?
No, sir.
All right, Ms. Patella, I don't think I can order her to do that. So, Ms. Tubbs, as I told you before, we got taught the first day of law school, he or she who represents themselves as a fool for a client. I would strongly recommend that you talk to Ms. Patella, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. What would you like to do with that?
With all due respect, sir, I am not working alone. I work with the Holy Spirit, so only a fool would think that the Holy Spirit ain't helping me. Not being smart.
All right, and I'm not being smart with you either. I'm telling you what they told us in law school, all right?
That's understandable.
All right, that's fine, Ms. Tubbs. So she apparently, will you be willing to have Ms. Patella in the room with you and the prosecutor?
Sir, I do not need her. Thank you. I'm not willing to.
All right.
I want somebody.
Yeah.
Regardless
so the
of who it
prosecutor
is.
says she does not feel comfortable talking directly with you without somebody else in the room. So
you're
you tell
forcing me. You're forcing
I'm
me
not
to have.
forcing you to do anything. You know, you don't have to talk to me. We can just go ahead and have a jury trial. That's fine with me. So what the prosecutor is saying is if she wants to talk alone with you, that there has to be somebody else in the courtroom or in the room. So you tell me.
She can have her in the courtroom, but not on my behalf. It can be on her behalf since she's fearing what I have to say alone. I'm not understanding why.
Put the three of you in a breakout room to discuss things.
Okay, thank you.
Do you agree to that, Ms. Tubb?
I agree to speak with her with the third party on her side.
All right. And counsel, how long do you think we should put you in the breakout room for?
10 minutes to be safe.
10 minutes, and then you can have more time if you need it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
I'll take 5 minutes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put you in 10. You can always stop early, okay?
Thank you.
Is there anything else we need to take care of before we send you into the room with Ms. Tubbs? Is there any other matters that are ready? Madam Clerk?
Yes, we could take care of Mr. Kehoe.
Well, you know what? It's too complicated. Let's let them do this. Can you come into the breakout
Yeah, I'm gonna go into the conference room and log into Zoom.
Okay, all right.
People in the state of Michigan. People in the state of Michigan is the people on the benches. It's us versus us. This is sad. Oh, I pray we wake up.
Let's go back on the record with regard to Ms. Tubbs' case. All right, let's call Ms. Tubbs' case, please.
Calling case 2400390201. The people of the state of Michigan versus Tania Nicole Tubbs. This matter is scheduled today for a pretrial. Appearances for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elena Rozak on behalf of the people, P78815.
And good morning, Judge Deanne Patillo, P82378, standing counsel for Ms. Tania Tubbs.
All right, Ms. Tubbs, if you can unmute and state your name for the record, please. All right, you can speak now. I think it's unmuted, ma'am. Yep, I can hear you. Yep.
For the record, I am Tania Nicole Tubbs, the beneficiary of the account.
All right, Ms. Tubbs, you have a constitutional right to be physically present for this hearing. Do you agree to waive that right for today and hold this hearing by Zoom?
Correct.
Okay. All right, where are we at on Ms. Tubbs' case, Madam Prosecutor?
Your Honor, I did get some information from Ms. Tubbs and I did look up the, I know that the defendant is in Calhoun County Jail right now and that, she has a sentencing date of March 24th, 2025. When is our trial date? The
March
17th?
17.
I'm guessing that Calhoun County would let her come here pending their sentence, since we have a trial date. I don't know how that all works because their case is a 2022 case, so it's definitely older. But either way, that's a problem for somebody else, I suppose. I think that Miss Tubbs needs to be brought over here. And maybe we should have a pre-trial before the trial once Miss Tubbs is here, where we're all in person. And Miss Tubbs can bring whatever documentation that she wishes to provide at that point. That way we all have it. And we're all on the same page because some of the things that she's referring to, I do not have. And I would say that we're likely going to have to proceed to trial.
All right. When are you proposing that we have this, bring her over beforehand? Obviously, the closer to the date for the court's purposes, the better, because we don't have to retain her as long from Calhoun. But if you think it would help to bring her earlier, we can do that too.
I think that approximately 2 weeks before, so that puts us in the March 3rd area. Sometime at the end of the week before or early the week of March 3rd.
I'm available the 6th, if that works for the court, prosecutor and Ms. Tubbs.
All right, why don't we schedule this to have her brought over here for March the 6th, and we'll have the hearing at 11:30. Is that time okay for you, Attorney Patella?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we'll set this for March 6th at 11:30. Hey, May, can you send a writ to have her brought from Calhoun County here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes, go right ahead, man, Ms. Tubbs.
I am looking forward to being out of here before then. And it is my duty to come there on my own as a freeborn sovereign to this. I do not need to be detained or retained. I am not an entity or subject to any entity. And I gave this paperwork to the 36th district, and I'm not going to be able to get this paperwork if I don't be able to walk and go get it, go home and print it out myself, because I have none but 8 children. I am by myself. I don't have support. I just have myself and my 8 children, which my oldest just went to prison, so he's not able to help me any longer.
All right, well, we'll see you on March 6th at 11:30. You have a nice day, ma'am, okay?
So there is no holds on me, correct?
Well, you're going to be in the jail here, Wayne County Jail.
What I'm telling you is that I'm going to be released from here either today, tomorrow, and I do not need any holds to come to another jail. I am a freeborn sovereign. I do not need to be detained or retained. I am not subject to any entity or am I entity. I am a living being.
All right, you have a nice day, ma'am.
Ms. Watford. All right. Now calling the matter of the people versus Cinnamon Woodford. This is ticket number P1217275. Count 1, no plate on a trailer. Count 2, no insurance misdemeanor. Count 3, drive while license suspended. Appearance for the record, starting with, I don't think counsel is represented in this matter. So Ms. Woodford, state your name for the record, please.
I'm here by special appearance, by coactus.
And what's your name?
Cinnamon.
Last name too?
Woodford.
All right, ma'am. Now, you know you have the right to have an attorney in this particular matter. This is a misdemeanor matter, and by right under law, you have the right to have a representative in the form of an attorney for this particular matter. Would you like to have an attorney in this matter?
I do not consent to these proceedings. The offer is not accepted. I do not consent to being surety of this case and proceedings. I demand the bond be brought forth immediately so I can see who will indemnify me if I'm damaged.
Okay, so the question that I asked is that, did you want to have an attorney provided for you in this particular matter, Ms. Workford?
I do not consent to these proceedings. The offer is not accepted. I do not consent to being surety of this case and proceedings. I demand the bond be immediately brought forth so I can see who will indemnify me if I'm damaged.
Okay, Ms. Workford, you're quoting from civil, well, not even civil procedure. Right now, you're quoting from the UCC. This is a criminal/traffic matter. So those proceedings govern these type of cases and these type of matters.
What crime did I commit?
Ms. Workford, if you do not wish to participate, then what ends up happening is that this matter will go into a show cause. After the show cause, then it will enter into what's called a bench warrant for your arrest until you handle this matter, at least the misdemeanors, and these are all misdemeanor offenses. So that's how this is handled on this particular end and this particular point. The offenses that have been alleged at this point in time is that there were no plates on your trailer, that there was no insurance on a Chevy vehicle, that's a 2007 Chevy vehicle, and that the driver's license was suspended that you had. And so those are the offenses that have been alleged at this point in time. Right now, they are just allegations. So you have the right to have an attorney, which I don't know if you would like to have that right or not. You have the right to have a jury trial. You have the right to have a bench trial. A jury trial is a trial before 6 people of the community in the city of Detroit who come and they will hear the facts, and based on the evidence and based on the law will make a decision. A bench trial is the same thing, only a judge, being myself, would sit there and I would hear those same facts and evidence and apply the same law in the same way. You also have the right to plead to these matters. There can be an officer.
I'm not here to plead, ma'am.
Ms. Warford, these are your choices. So it's up to you. It's a decision that you have to make. It's not going to go away. Okay. Just because you want it to go away, it's not going to go away. There is jurisdiction for it. So it's your decision on today. If you don't want to participate, then it's going to go into show cause because you can keep coming and it's just going to hang out there. But eventually we're going to have to adjudicate this matter at some point in time because it cannot remain on this docket indefinitely. So you have to make some decisions as to what you would like to do with these matters.
Well, I still do not consent to these proceedings.
Okay. So if you do not want to participate, I'm going to be forced to put it into what's called a warrant. You have to participate. So you have to come in and ready to go with something. I know you may not like it, but as a person who is a citizen of the United States of America, who is a person who lives in Michigan and is utilizing the services of our world and our community, these are the things that have been alleged. Now, if you're saying that the officer wasn't, correct in those or something, your license was valid or you had car insurance and you can present all of that, then we can try and figure out if we can get a new offer or something different. But other than that, you do have to stand for these particular allegations that have been made at this point in time.
Well, I never had a driver's license, so I still don't consent to any of these proceedings. So, I mean, I still don't consent to these proceedings. The offer is not accepted. So,
ma'am, you can stop reading that. I know they've given you a line cue that you are able to read off of, but this is as long as you utilize the services of everything in the city of Detroit and you fail to do those things, this is the ticket that proceeds. But I don't know that you failed. You said you don't have a license, but did you have car insurance at that time that you could present?
no.
Was it a trailer on the back of the vehicle?
Judge, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I know I'm not on this case, but if I could file an amicus brief of sort. Judge, I'm a little uneasy with, this is Matthew Dupree, P8 0132. I'm a little uneasy with the questioning here, just because technically if this matter were set for trial, what she says here could be used against her. And so I'm not sure she should necessarily be answering those
You
questions.
want your representation, Mr. Dupree?
She did not, Judge.
Did you ask her if she wanted your representation?
I did, Your Honor.
Did the court ask her if she wanted her representation?
You did, Your Honor.
You can continue to talk, Mr. Dupree. I appreciate you stepping in on her behalf.
I appreciate that, Judge. Your Honor, I'm just I just thought I would make that representation. I don't think the city attorney would actually pull the transcripts, but it is worth noting that anything she said here, could come back. So it might, I'm not sure that necessarily that questioning would be appropriate. Sorry, Judge. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Dupree. I appreciate you coming in to step to the rescue of Miss Woodard so that she understands.
It's Woodford.
Woodford, sorry, ma'am, Miss Woodford. Miss Woodford? We have to make a decision, so how do you want to move forward with this?
Well, I'm not here to plead because I'm not here to
Would you
plead.
like a bench or a jury trial?
Are you making that determination for me, ma'am?
You have to have a bench or a jury trial. You told me you don't want to plead, that's fine. You probably should have a jury trial then. And I don't have any jury trials for this year.
Are you making that determination for me, ma'am?
If you don't make the determination, yes, the court is making the determination for you. Yes, because I have to move it. I have to move it. So it's either, Attorney Dupree, can I have a bench trial now? I don't want to violate anything.
No, Judge, she has to explicitly waive her right to a jury trial, and strictly speaking, she has to do it in writing. So I would say if she's saying she will not plead, that would be standing mute, and I think the court would have to set it for a jury trial.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So I'm gonna have to set this for a jury trial. I think she told me. Huh? Oh, thank you.
And Judge, she logged off.
She was frozen, so it may just be her system. I'm gonna give her a second to sign back on. If she doesn't sign back on, I'll just put her in warrant status. But if she signs back on, I'm gonna try and give her at least a jury trial either.
Thank you, Judge.
Sorry about that. I had a very bad power surge.
I figured as much. So no, back on the record, I figured that it happened because you kind of froze up and my clerk informed me that you froze completely. So
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm setting this for a jury trial because the alternate is that I can put this in warrant status. And I don't want to do that unless I necessarily have to. So at that point in time, you could be able to have your day in court, to say whatever you want to say at that point in time.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to, but I have to do a pre-trial because I don't have any dates right now. But I have your name down. But that will give you the opportunity. You will be able to talk to the jurors. You will have the opportunity to have testimony taken. I know you don't want counsel, but you can have the right to have counsel at that point in time. Would you like to have me assign counsel to you?
I need effective counsel at that.
Okay. I was going to say, would you like to have counsel assigned to you?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll get some counsel assigned to you. So I'm going to have you come back to make sure that that counsel is assigned to you. I am going to need some information from you, but not online. This is public to you. This is public to everybody, and I don't want them to have your business. Can you call the court this ends, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, you ready to take down the number for me?
Yes, 1 second, please. I have to grab a pen.
Okay,
Okay, 1 second.
no problem.
Okay, I'm ready, ma'am.
313
Mm-hmm.
965
965.
2293.
Uh-huh.
And we're
93.
just gonna need like your phone number and an email address, and then counsel will reach out to you. And you'll be able to talk to them, and then let me know. I'm gonna have you come back to court on 9/20/2022, just to make sure you have counsel in place. And then we'll try and see if I have any dates. I'm gonna ask them, can I have some dates for next year for jury trial, or this year if they have some. I would like to do them this year, but I'm gonna see what I can do, okay?
Okay.
8:30 a.m. I'm gonna set your bond at $0 personal. All that means is that you just come back on your own. No money is put down into place, okay? So
Okay.
I'm gonna call the courtroom so I can get that information, so I can send it over so that we can get you counsel assigned to you directly, okay? So that way you can handle this. You can have your day in court. You can say whatever you want to say within reason. You know, this is courthouse, so you haven't used any bad language or anything like that. And that's what I'm really referring to, okay? And you'll have your time and your day in court to dispute these matters, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. If there's nothing further, that concludes this hearing. You can go ahead and sign off, ma'am, okay?
Okay, have a good one.
You too, thank you. Don't forget to call.
Okay.
Thank you. Now calling the matter of People versus Cinnamon Woodford. This is ticket P1217275. Count 1, no plates on trailer. Count 2, no insurance misdemeanor. Count 3, drove while license suspended. Ticket number SP11022227. Count 1, no receipt of registration. Count 2, no proof of insurance. Appearances for the record, starting with counsel, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Harry Bachman for the defendant. Ma'am, state your full name.
Cinnamon Woodford.
Good morning, Ms. Woodford. Your Honor, the defendant is continuing and not guilty. We're asking for a waiver trial date by way of Zoom, please.
All right, if that's correct, ma'am, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
You can put your hand down. Ma'am, did you have an opportunity to talk to Attorney Bachman in private about your case and about your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
My understanding, you would like to have a bench trial. That's a trial before myself as the trier and finder of facts. Is that how you want to move forward, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to set it for the date of December the 5th. December the 5th, that's going to be at 9 a.m. It is going to be via Zoom. So the same way you zoomed in today, zoom in on December the 5th, 9 a.m. Okay, bond to be set at $0 personal. All right. There's nothing further. You're all set. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
I'm not threatening you. Say one more word and that's 30 days. 30 days.